Yo, what's up guys, Neon Blitz here, back with another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. Today we're going to be breaking down everything that's came with this brand new update with Bardock, and as well as some pretty massive patch notes that came as well. So let's just break everything down. So first things first, obviously we have the release of the new tanks, Super Saiyan Bardock. A hero who will quickly dash in to save comrades in a pinch. The revenge gauge fills up every time damage is taken. The more the gauge is filled, the less damage taken, and the more rush attack movement speed increases. When the gauge gets maxed out, rush attacks become AoE attacks. While the number of attacks decreases, damage is increased. Protect allies by drawing in attacks and launching an explosive counterattack with your mass power. So I already made my video first time ever playing Bardock. He seems really good. I don't know if he's the best tank in the game or second best, but he definitely feels really strong. And there's been a lot of talk on that's Goku on like the power of his skill 3, the Raging Charge. I don't know how good it is in theory, but it is super fun to play with. So this is my favorite move of him, even though most people probably say it's bad. His Rebellion Smashes, the fact that you get 3 charges of this and you can combo all 3 of them like one after another is super fun. The Wild War is a crazy building, applying Wrath to potentially the whole team. You get more health, you get more tanky, helps build your Rebellion gauge. Very good. Not Rebellion gauge, the Revenge gauge. It's definitely very good, and he's definitely a great release. He doesn't feel as broken as Ultimate Gohan release, so that's good. So then of course we have the new hero focus capsules. I don't go over these much during my character breakdowns or my patch breakdowns because you guys should just not buy either of this. Don't buy this daily FG capsule or buy this package with Bardock and other capsules. Why? Well, because if we go into the specific banner for those G capsules, you have a 5% chance to get a legendary, a 25% chance to get an epic, and a 70% chance to get a rare. Which, if we look at the regular banner, 5% chance overall and a 1% chance to get all the new stuff. While over here, it's just for the Bardocks. It's 2.5, so it is like an increase, but it's not worth spending 350 gems on for this. Keep in mind, the brand new characters are 250 Dragon Gems. So you're spending more than the brand new character just for the chance to get the rare blue cosmetics. It is not worth it. Please do not buy those. Then obviously talking about Bardock's new intro and legendary finisher, which I'll showcase here. Both of them look good. It's cool. The finisher looks awesome. The legendary intro looks sick. Him putting on the bandana. Obviously he has his epic MVPs. And then of course they also have has a brand new finisher as well, which I guess I gotta go over here to showcase. Which definitely looks sick. I'm glad that they're giving characters post-launch, or not post-launch characters, launch character. Bleh. I'm glad they're giving characters cosmetics even after they've been out for a while, and we're gonna see that soon cooler, which I'm super excited about. So I'm glad they're doing that. Then talking about some of the cosmetics that will be available during the season 3, the pink capsules, Ultimate Gohan's effects, Super Saiyan 3's legendary MVP, and some Kid Gohan's effect. Super Saiyan Bardock's new Battlesuit damage skin arrives from the store. And with that should be the rest of the general stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of this skin, I'll be honest. It's pretty much just regular Bardock, but you just the armor's obviously cracked. These type of skins, because there's quite a good amount of them. This one looks dramatically different enough, so they get to pass from me. But stuff like the Super Saiyan 3 one, or stuff like that. Maybe you can even say the GT Vegeta one. Just these skins that barely look different enough. I just don't like it. I think there needs to be a bigger difference. I understand, yes, this is how, they've looked in the series. So I get why they're added to the game, but for me, I don't like spending. I haven't bought any skins, but these are skins that just won't do it for me. So I'm sure most people like it. For me, I just don't like it. Then that's everything for here. Then if we go to the general stuff, the group ranking results have been published, so make sure you claim those. Then there's a child hero change, nothing crazy. If you're curious, it's Bojack, Trunks, Cooler, Baby, Krillin, and Gohan. Which is funny because Gohan was the free character last week. And funnily enough, before we get into the patch notes, because these patch notes are massive, and I'm going to change my browser to see it, the free character for this week is Cooler. So I think it's funny that Cooler is on the free child heroes for this week, but then he's given out for free this week. So all you got to do to get Cooler is just battle using the tank roll 10 times, and you'll get him. If you already own Cooler, you'll get 5,000 hero memories instead, which I'm going to use to hopefully get him to the hero statue 7. And yeah, that pretty much seems to be it for the the patch or this breakdown except for the patch notes. So I'm going to switch to my browser and we'll go review them together. Alright, we're here with the Season 3.2 patch notes. We're going to be reviewing them, seeing my first time reaction ever seeing them. Before we get started, shout out Shane McCall for the background music. Love their stuff. I'll leave a link to this exact video that we're listening to in the description. Make sure to go check it out to give them some love. So, alright, Season 3.2 patch is now available, and they're already live in game. Looking at this picture, why is Kid Gohan here? You're telling me we're buffing Kid Gohan? The support that are technical that most people consider the best in the game, we're buffing him? Sure. Android 18 buff's good. Oop buff's good. Topo buff's good. Okay. Battle system changing Rubrian and Jaco. I don't know what that could mean, but okay. Nerfs to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Good. Even after he's always been good. So if he gets nerfed more, sure. Adjustments to Broly, Trunks, the Gambas, and Frieza. Now, these pictures can be quite deceptive. I remember what they said for the launch of the game, Season 0. They said they nerfed Cooler, but they actually buffed him just because they increased the amount of trophies, which ended up being a net buff. So, I'm just going to see how they're exactly doing this. So, let's just get started right here. Alright, Kid Gohan. I cannot believe this guy's on their buffs, but let's read. Passive, Friendship Boost. Energy attack up effect when ally hero is nearby added, 500. All defense up effect when ally hero is nearby increase, 400 to 500. I'm just gonna keep going. Skill 2, Masenkyaku, the kick. Maximum time until fully charged decrease, 1.1 seconds to 0.9 seconds. Why? It already charged pretty quick to max out. It did not need it, but sure. Skill 3, leave this to me. This is the big energy field. Energy defense up to self and target ally hero on activation removed. Okay. Energy defense down to enemies within barrier removed. Okay. Cooldown decreased 10 to 8 seconds. So I think this is why they quote buffed him. Because they nerfed his skill 3. They essentially moved the target ally hero on activation to his passive. And the enemy energy defense down has been removed just for this all attack up. So instead of it just now being energy defense up to self and target ally, now it's just all defense up affecting ally heroes nearby. And then that's the energy defense time went to attack, and then they lowered the cooldown by 8 seconds, and then lowered the kick. I mean, this is still good for Gohan because he barely got touched. Now they basically did all of this just to remove the blitzing that you can do of bosses, because you guys weren't aware. His skill 3 could work on bosses, so a Kid Gohan would just skill 3 a boss or an ally near the boss. A damage character would ult it, and it would absolutely destroy the boss. So I'm glad that they got rid of that, but I do not think Kid Gohan needed compensation buffs for it. He was already like the best technical or second best. He did not need compensation buffs, but I guess that's better, because I saw this and I was already like, what? So I mean, I guess, I don't know. Sure, man. Android 18 stats. Base HP from 8,748 to start to 17,963 late game to 9,914 at start to 20,358 at late game. So they just buff for HP. I mean, that's good. That is helpful. Do not get me wrong. But 18's problem is in a game full of long range abilities, insane burst, characters being able to poke you from super far. 18 has to get in melee range to do it. And doesn't have the craziest burst. She kind of has like a second, or not second cooldown, but like she takes time to do her full damage. Well, it's like the KO, where skill 3, skill 1 would just absolutely nuke you, or like a Goku Kamehameha, any of the Goku Kamehamehas. And then they also nerfed her last patch when they got rid of her no abilities on her skill 2. So I mean, good that she's getting buffed with better HP. Hopefully this will allow her to be more tanky and actually live enough to do her damage. But I just don't know if that's enough. So, interesting to see. Super Oob. This is a character that's been... He's been okay to good for a large majority of the game's lifespan. And his only buff was decreasing his skill 3 dash by like 1 second, which was like a nothing buff. So let's see what they do here. Stats. Base HP adjusted 7,000. Start to 25,000. End 8,000. Beginnings 22,000. So they gave him more health early on, but less health late game. Better. You know, I would imagine it is better to have more health early game and take off the trade of having less health end game, because you're not going to be wanting to take that much damage late game anyways. And most of the time, your characters are so strong this game that you're going to be nuked anyways. So it's better to have the health early game, be able to win those initial 2v2s, and start snowballing out of there. Passive, Cyclone Stream. These are like kind of the swirls around him. Max number of attainable Cyclone increase from 64 to 96. That's quite a big jump. Okay. Skill 1, Range Barrier. Rage Barrage. Obtainable Cyclone when energy blast hits a target increase from 2 to 4. Okay. If you're confused, the skill 1 is basically like the little cone that he like shoots out. Good buff. Skill 2, Brutal Buster. This is the kind of like cleansing he does where he increases the range of his rush attacks. Rush attack / shooting chaser range increase. In addition, rush attack hit effects increase from 3, 4 to 6 is 6 all around. That's pretty good, because this ability kind of felt worthless, especially considering its sub-effect of getting rid of candy when Majin Buu was the only character that can apply candy and another Super Oob. So just buffing out the more offensive stats of it is good. I still think he maxed his ability last, because I think his other two abilities are so much better, but especially helping with his damage. But just glad they're buffing this. Skill 3, Shooting Chaser. Cooldown decrease from 8 to 6.5 seconds. Wow, that's a pretty good buff. You know, before I think it went from like 10 to 9 or maybe 9 to 8. And I was like, oh wow, okay, that does nothing. But 8 to 6.5 seconds, that's pretty big. Especially considering now you get more passive stacks. And you're just, you know, have longer durations of your skill 2. That's pretty big. They actually buff Boob a lot. I might make a video on him now, just showcasing the buffs. Well, alright. God Destruction Topo, character I have not played at all. And I'm waiting to make a video on him. It's just, damage Q times are take forever, so I've been avoiding damage characters. Skill 3, Sphere of Destruction Tempered. This is the counter. While in fighting stance, no obstruction effect added to self-added. I believe no obstruction is like he can't be stunned. So the only guaranteed way to get rid of the counter now is either don't attack Topo, get out of the area, or do enough damage that any of the extra health is gone. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a great buff for Topo. I think he did needed it. He was always good, but that was it. He was just good in a game full of great, amazing, broken characters. He was good. So to see him getting buffed, and especially Topo started falling off hard when Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta came out, because Topo would start with the counter, and then Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta would just stun him into the wall, and then that was it. It's like, well, okay. So that's a good buff. And nerfs. Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I was surprised to see him here, but also not surprised. And even in my Bardock showcase, I was getting destroyed by Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So he's still good, don't worry. But skill 1, Super Kamehameha. First hit damage decrease from 450, 500 to 600 to 400, 450, 550. So like 100 to like just 50 damage less from the first hit damage decrease. Okay, that's fine. Damage of follow-up attacks decreased. 130 all around to 90. That's more significant. So he's losing a lot of damage. I mean, it's still going to be super annoying because the range is super far, and I imagine he's still going to be able to snipe any of the mobs, the monsters, the NPCs that you get to farm with, and still going to be doing a lot of damage if you take the full duration. Instant Transmission Kamehameha. First hit damage decrease from 540, 600, 720 to 450, 560. So a lot more significant here. Eventually losing 120 damage at max rank. Okay. Damage and follow-up attacks decrease from 130 all around to 100 all around. So he did lose a good amount of damage. I still don't think it's going to matter that significantly. I still think he's going to be really good just because Instant Transmission is an insane ability, and the range he has is insane. So I imagine Super Saiyan 3 Goku is still going to be good, but I think these are welcome nerfs just because, especially this season, with all the nerfs to, you know, solid barrier, build up, characters just less tanky. But it did impact Super Saiyan 3 Goku just because he could just sit back and fire his super long range Super Kamehameha. So he became really good this season. So I'm glad that they're taking nerfs to it. Adjustments. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. I'm kind of surprised to see him here. I know people are saying Broly's like the best character or not best character, best damage character, or maybe second best, just because you are so tanky, can snipe bosses really well with your ult, and you know, considering everyone else lost their tankiness due to the divine cards and nerfs of Solid Barrier and build up, Broly's extra health actually seem more impactful. So passive, Fiendish Tenacity. Time until the spirit gauge starts to deplete decrease from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. That's a pretty big nerf. Okay. Skill 1, Gigantic Knuckle. This is the, like, he builds up and then just slams the ground with his fist and puts like a big area. The spirit gauge charge gain per hit decrease 5, 9, 11, 12 to 3, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so he pretty much loses 1 to 2 hits or charges. A pretty significant nerf. Okay, not significant nerf, but okay, especially considering they decrease how long did the spirit gauge last. Alright, skill 3, Roar. Cooldown decrease from 9 seconds to 7 seconds. Alright, I mean that's a good compensation buff, but the cooldown's still based on what skill you use. So the spirit gauge charge gain decrease from 25, 35, 41, and 45 to 20, 30, 36, 40. So they want you to, you're going to be using your spirit gauge a lot less. So that they call this adjustments. I would say this is a net nerf, just because the spirit gauge like helps you do more damage with your rush attacks, I'm pretty sure, with Broly. So yeah, obviously, does that really matter late game? Not really. You're not going to be rush attacking too terribly often, because late game you're going to be using your skill 2 to stomps into the roar, into skill 2 again, and then ulting. So it does. I think this more hurts early game, if anything. But late game Broly should be fine. So I guess that's why they put it under adjustment, just because it doesn't really hurt his late game. And I mean, hell, the getting 2 seconds off his skill 3, I think it's probably worth it. But it is interesting that they're nerfing the spirit gauge like pretty significantly here. Super Saiyan Trunks teen stats. Base HP adjusted from 6,000 to 20,000 late game to now 8,000 to 8,000 early game, 18,000 late game. I would say this is a buff. We saw with 18 that they just buffed their total HP, so that's why that's a buff. But Trunks is adjusted to having more health. I mean, we saw Oob that they did the same thing for Oob, and he still listed as a buff just because everything else is a buff. This is a buff to Trunks. One of the main issues with Trunks is he had too little health early game to really start snowballing effectively. You would have to win in a couple fights with Trunks and if it stall till you hit late game, and then you would truly shine as the assassin in this game. The issue is, because you have so low health, it's really hard to win those initial 2v2s. And if you lose those 2v2s, your health is still super low. You don't have the strength to assassinate yet. And it's just rough. So giving him more, significantly like 1,000 more health to start off with is pretty big. That should hopefully let him take a bit more hits. Maybe that might last him a second or two. That could get his cooldowns to get the execute for skill 1 and start snowballing from there. So it's another good buff to Trunks. They've been buffing Trunks a lot because I do think he needed it. But I'm wondering if this is enough for him. You know, that was one of the big things was Trunks for his health initially. And another character that needs their base health adjusted is Cell. So from the picture, we didn't see Cell, so I'm surprised they still aren't buffing Cell at all. But that's a discussion for another video. Gamma 1 and 2. The fact that these guys are under adjustment is interesting, just because I know a lot of people, especially higher yellow, consider them like the best or second best damage character in the game. They're just so incredibly tanking. You know, you have Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 health. With their ult, they have the second stun. They get increased bonus health. And then if you really need the damage, you have the Core Breaker, which will do like more damage than a Spirit Bomb. So they were just really good, and they would build tanky, then they would still do incredible damage. Let's see what they do. Passive, Gamma Switch. Gamma 2 movement speed up increase from 10% to 25%. Okay. Pretty good. Skill 1, Gamma Strike. This is Gamma 2. Strike damage decrease from 720, 800, 960 to 500, 550, 650. That's pretty significant nerfs. Wow, okay. That's like almost 220 level 1, like 250 level 2, and then almost 300. No, it is like 310 gone from max rank. Wow, that is significant. Okay. I wonder now if that means you might just want to max skill 2 with the big slam of Gamma 1. Who's to say? Super attack, special pose. Stagger effect on enemies hit when activating special pose removed. Wow. Okay. That was honestly one of the best things the game has had going for them, is that their ult would stagger enemies for like a second or longer. So your team could just combo them for free. So the fact that they removed that is wild. Immune to all effect to self on activation added. 1.5 seconds. Okay. I mean, if they're going to compensate for that, the stagger is still better, don't get me wrong. But if they're going to compensate, immune to all is better. You know, you could theoretically use it to dodge like a Spirit Bomb. Are you going to do that? Probably not. But it's so interesting that they did that. Immune to all. So you're not invincible when you activate your ult. Because then you're going to get a bunch of the health from the Game of 1 and 2 combining healths. While special pose is active, range of rush attacks increase from 3 meters to 5 meters. Okay. I'd probably say this is still a net nerf, just because they lost a lot of damage from their skill 1, and they lost a stagger effect. You did not realize how powerful that stagger effect was, especially in higher elo. So, the movement speed buff is nice, and the immune is nice, and the range attack is nice, but they lost a lot of damage on their skill 1, and losing the stagger is huge for them. So, I would highly say net nerf. Trunks, I'd say, is a net buff. Broly, I'd say it's a nerf early game, just because that's when the Spirit Gift should matter the most. Late game doesn't really matter, so. Frieza, first form. I am surprised to see Frieza under adjustments, because I would have imagined Frieza would get buffed. Considering you rarely ever see Frieza in higher tier elos, just because people know to shoot Zarbon, and then Frieza's kind of useless. So let's see. Show them Zarbon. Damage, skill 1. Damage decreased from 750, 900 to 650, 800. So he lost like 100 damage per shot of Zarbon. Interesting. Strike down defense effect increased from 50 to 75. Duration of strike defense down effect decreased from 8 seconds to 5 seconds. I'll be so for real. I didn't even know Zarbon lowered strike defense. I did not even know that. But lowering Zarbon's damage by 100 is interesting. I know, I imagine Frieza's probably strong low elo. Did we loop around? Okay, well, I'll make sure to link to both sounds in the both playlists in the description. But yeah, I didn't even realize Frieza lowered strike defense. Wow, but nerfing his damage is quite interesting. Skill 2, Crush them, Dodoria. Damage increased from 540, 600, 720 to 600, 660, 780. So you gained 60 damage on Dodoria, but lost 100 on Zarbon. I'd say that's a nerf. Cooldown decreased 20 to 18 seconds. Sure. When Imperial decrease active, launch speed scaling decreased from 2.5 to 1.5. Why? You already... yes, was the Doria annoying and surprisingly tanky max rank? Sure. But why? You did not need to do this? In my mind, this is nerfed. That now Zarbon's going to be pushing back, or activating a lot slower now when the period decrease skill 3, the big circle around them, is active. I'd say this is a net nerf to Frieza, which is... I don't know why they would do that. Maybe Frieza was terrorizing lower ranks dramatically, so they had to balance it for lower ranks, which, you know, it's something they were going to do. That's what every game's going to do. They're going to balance stuff, obviously, for the high tier, top tier ranks, but they're also going to balance stuff for the low tier ranks, because that's where the majority of players are. So if Frieza's dominating and causing a lot of frustration in lower tier ranks, then sure, it makes sense to nerf him. But just as someone that has been higher ranked, it's very interesting to see them actually nerf Frieza. Okay. Bosses, Brienne. Base HP increased from 24,500 to 32,000. Then Jacko's goes from 24,500 to 28,000. Good change. Yeah. The bosses have, especially Nappa, are just nothing. You just wail at them and that's it. And then you just use an ult to secure it and boom. Not really much fights. Brienne and Jacko are better than Nappa at this aspect, but they still had too little health to compensate, so being able to have more health on them is good. It makes you so you have to kind of work harder to fight them, give you more opportunities for scrambles. Yeah, I'd say there's a good change. Start collection. Upgrade, updated hero unlock content. I'll show this in game after the patch notes. Added to tier 1 Super Vegito, yeah. Changed this to tier 2 Super Saiyan 3 Goku, okay. Changed to to tier 3 unlock, Android 18, and increase the maximum cap size of the Star Collection. Okay. You know, this is kind of predictable. You know, we know the newest characters can be added to tier 1. I'm glad 3 Goku's finally added to the tier 2. I mean, they gave them out for free not too long ago, so I imagine most players have them, but still good to see them being added to tier 2. Then Android 18 is now tier 3, which, funny enough, they buff her when they added to tier 3. It's still always so weird to me that Android 18 was a tier 1 unlock when the game first came out, when she's been in the game since Project Multi, the first beta. So, like, tier 3 makes sense for her at this point. Improvements. Gamma 1 and 2. Ability details. Fixed text to clarify, show the range of rush attacks while special pose is active. This is for an already existing ability. Okay, so they're just changing the skill explanations. Okay. Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Fixed ability details. Fixed text to clearly show damage increases once Kamehameha changed to instant transmission Kamehameha. This is for already existing ability. Alright, good that they're just fixing up tooltips. You know, it's always good to have more information than less. So, yeah, it looks like to be the end of the patch notes. Very interesting changes. I would say a lot of the buffs for the characters. You know, 18 needed buffs, Oob needed buffs, Topo needed buffs. I don't think Gohan needed compensation buffs, but sure. This might still be a net nerf. It probably is, just because this energy defense down was crazy. But I don't think Gohan needed compensation buffs, but that's fine. I like the buffs to Brienne and Jaco. Super Saiyan 3 Goku nerfs are good. And then, with the exception of the Frieza changes, I actually like all the adjustments that they made with the Gammas, Trunks, and Broly. I think this is a great patch. You know, especially considering the last patch with Season 3, that they nerfed a lot of the Divine Draws, which I think really opened up the potential of the Divine Draws. Sure, there still are meta picks here and there, but I feel like you're seeing a lot more variety now than when you just went Snowball, Solid Barrier, Limit Breaking Jump every game. Or eventually Build Up, Solid Barrier, Limit Breaking Jump every game. So, I'm happy to see that, but let me go back in game to showcase this Star Collection change, and then we'll wrap up the video. Alright, we are back in game to showcase the Star Collection changes. So, as we can already see in this Tier 1 unlock, Super Vegito has now been added to it. And then, I believe you need to go to a Tier 2 unlock just to show. Oh, I can give you Tier 3. I can't show it off because I already own 18, but 18 is now added to the Tier 3 unlock. And then Super Saiyan 3 has been added to the Tier 2 unlock as well. I wonder, is there an easy way? Oh, no, there's no way for me to show it, but yeah. So, 18 has been added to the Tier 3 unlock, Super Saiyan 3 Goku has been added to the Tier 2 unlock, and Super Vegito has been added to the Tier 1 unlock. I'd imagine a lot of players are probably going to pick up Vegito for in their Tier 1 unlocks. I mean, it's Vegito, who can blame him, and Vegito's pretty good, so yeah, with that, that's everything to cover for this weekly content update and this big update. I was not expecting this big of a launch for Bardock, especially patch notes with this size, but hey, more patch notes are always good, so I'll take it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot to me. Stay tapped into the channel. Want to stay up to everything Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra related, including more video and coverage on Bardock, more updates on weekly content, and the future of the game. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!